no plans at all. Evil man's always transcending. Fighter like sheep, swallow everything. Always simpletons or pretending.
This is your moment of clarity from LeeCamp.net. Professor Sheldon Wolin, the man who came up with the idea of inverted totalitarianism, died last week, the same week that U.S. political prisoner Reverend Ed Pinkney had his phone privileges and contact with the outside world taken away. What did the two have to do with each other? Nothing. But also everything. But mainly nothing. It's one of those things where you don't realize how they're connected at first. You know, like, let's say your wife tells you she's pregnant the same day that your lawn maintenance guy quits, and you're like, wow, this is a crazy day. And then a few months later, the baby comes out wearing gardening gloves, and you're like, that's some bullshit. That's why he left. Reverend Ed Pinkney is a leader of the black community in Benton Harbor, Michigan. He was convicted last year by an all-white jury and locked away for up to 10 years for altering 5 dates on recall petitions against the mayor of Benton Harbor. Altering 5 dates. It's not like he was dragging corpses into the voting booth. He altered 5 dates. I mean, on the list of crimes, that's slightly below over-seasoning a curly fry. But it gets better. He didn't do it. He didn't even change the fucking dates. And the prosecution presented no evidence, zero evidence that he had. The prosecutor even told the jury, the prosecutor and the judge said to the jury, you don't need evidence to convict Mr. Pinkney. Oh, you don't? Then what the fuck would you like the jury to go on? Maybe Ouija boards they could use, or Vision Quest? Maybe a Magic 8 Ball will help them find the answer. Hey, Magic 8 Ball, is this a kangaroo court designed to lock away an innocent black man? All signs point to. I ain't telling you, they'll lock me away next. After all, I'm black too. They went after Reverend Pinkney because he was getting in the way of Whirlpool, the multi-billion-dollar corporation that makes your home appliances, your washer, your dishwasher, all that shit. They own other companies, other brands like Philips. They own a lot of shit, all right? It's headquartered in Benton Harbor, Michigan. And they want to transform that economically devastated city into a private lakeshore playground for the wealthy. A playground for the wealthy. I assume that has monkey bars so the executives can play at the same evolutionary level as their empathy for fellow man. Right? That'd probably be a good idea. I figure it also has a seesaw that they let the workers use so they can learn how a pension works. First you see it, then you saw it. Bye. Good to see you. All gone. And Whirlpool is largely responsible for devastating Benton Harbor. Basically, they did a giant corporate butt scoot across the whole town, and then they said, smells like shit around here. You should sell it to us so we can clean it up for you. With Whirlpool having so much power, you might start to feel like we're living in a totalitarian state. Totalitarianism. The dictionary definition is a political system where the state recognizes no limits to its authority and strives to regulate every aspect of public and private life. But Sheldon Wolin explained we actually live in inverted totalitarianism, or inverted totes as the kids call it. Under well-known totalitarian regimes like the Nazis, big business was subordinate to the political regime, the government. But now, for us, it's the opposite. Our politicians have fully agreed to suck a big old corporate dictatorship. In inverted totes, we're ruled by the anonymous corporate state, as Chris Hedges said. Whirlpool, for example, pulls the strings behind the scenes, corrupting judges and politicians. Some of them are very easy to spot, such as Michigan Congressman Fred Upton, the heir to much of the Whirlpool empire. But it's kind of like a ventriloquist who has a racist puppet. You know, you can only get so mad at the puppet. Eventually, you have to save your true anger for the guy with his hand up its ass. While the Nazis tried to give the general public unity and strength in order to wage war against other countries, that's the opposite of our system, which promotes a sense of weakness, of collective futility, as Wolin says. Just look at Congress with their approval rating hovering somewhere around that of stomach parasites. They seem to all get reelected. How the fuck does that happen? If you look at that and don't feel helpless, there's something wrong with you. Whirlpool's new ad campaign is, its images of people just trying to get by, right? Just trying to live their lives, tying a toddler's scarf around a warm bowl of oatmeal, or whatever people do. Just patting a baby on the head and throwing a baseball to a kitten, or whatever the fuck. And at the end, it says, every act of care counts. Aww. But really, it should say every act of fascism counts. Because Whirlpool has locked away an innocent man because he was getting in the way of their fucking pillaging. As Reverend Ed Pinkney said before his communication to the outside world was taken away, Benton Harbor is the testing ground to see what they can get away with. Wolin and Pinkney probably never met each other, might not even know who each other are, but they became irrevocably linked when Pinkney became the latest victim of our corporate totalitarianism. Why didn't you see that one coming, Magic 8 Ball? Huh? What the fuck am I paying you for anyway? But luckily, there is one thing Whirlpool cares about that we can influence, their brand name. But luckily, there is one thing Whirlpool cares a lot about that we can have an influence on, their brand name. Every corporation spends millions, if not billions of dollars to make sure when you hear their name, you have a little warm fuzzy feeling in your tummy. Right? They want you to love them so bad because that's how they sell shit. So let's impact Whirlpool's brand name. Tweet at Whirlpool USA and tell them to free Reverend Pinkney. Okay? And then go and press your junk up against the dryer during the spin cycle to show it who's boss. That's your moment of clarity. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I hope we can help Reverend Pinkney in the long term if we can get him out of jail and back to his life and his wife and his family. If you want to see a moment of clarity and Redacted Tonight continue at their current pace, at their current level, then I'm not asking for money. I simply want you to share this video, post it on Facebook and Twitter, wherever the fuck. Tell people that you think it's something worth watching. Thanks for your help. Keep fighting.